So I saw this article pop up on the trusted news website news.com.au. What a perfect day's eating looks like according to a dietitian. I thought, let's have a look at this because, we've all got our opinions about food and what we should eat. So let's cut to the chase. I'm not liking that picture to start with, but let's read. 7 a.m. Blended vegetable juice. The first step in building a strong diet platform is to eat something early to help get the metabolism going. Starting the day with a veggie juice made using a blender to retain as much fiber as possible compared to normal juicing means that you can get lots of serves of veggies. A great mix is carrot, celery, and beetroot. Yeah, sounds nice. Low in sugars and calories. Do you want to start your day low in calories? I don't know. Vegetable omelette with one slice of whole grain toast. A portion-controlled serve of whole grain carbs via toast or oats will help fuel your muscles and control sugar cravings through the morning. While the protein, I think eggs are actually quite rich in fats. I think more than 50% of the calories in eggs comes from fats. So let's call them fat-rich eggs, will help to keep you full until lunchtime. Adding an extra serve or two of vegetables is another simple way to add more nutrients and fiber into your day. Well, it's good that they mention fiber. And then they say something about a hit of coffee, which you probably need because the calories are so low. So breakfast, I think that's a really bad overall breakfast. Let's just talk about the coffee first. If you're eating and waking up and sleeping enough, if you're eating the right foods, you don't need a caffeine hit. The only time you need a caffeine hit is if you want to raise your performance for something in particular. You don't do it every day. So before a race, you might want some caffeine. If you think you want to push the limits, it's definitely a performance enhancer. But when you use it every day, I think it's probably not the best for long-term sort of health. I think if you stay away from it more in general, it's better. And then when you do need it, you're sensitive to it. Vegetable omelette, obviously the veggies are good, and that will actually fill you up a lot more than the eggs. If you eat a kilogram of vegetables compared to 1 or 2 eggs, sometimes depending on the vegetable, if they're if they're not dense in calories, like lots of different cruciferous vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, then you're going to get full very quickly compared to eating 1 or 2 eggs. And eggs have saturated fat, cholesterol. They've been associated with bad health outcomes compared to more fruits and vegetables, which are associated with better health outcomes the more you eat. So the blended veggie juice is good, and yeah, blending is better than juicing. It does retain more of the fiber, and don't worry about if you're not adding sugar. Don't worry if the sugar's in the food. 10 bananas is fine with whatever, some greens and stuff in there. That could be a good breakfast. Or a bowl of oatmeal with berries on top or something like that would be more my solution. Okay, so assuming you haven't had any snacks on the way, let's go to lunch. Veggie soup and half a salmon wrap. So when you have enjoyed, here we go, protein. Protein and vegetable-rich breakfast, you should be full until late morning in time to enjoy an early lunch. Ideally, your body needs at least 3 to 4 hours between meals to allow the hormones that control fat metabolism, leptin, I think it's leptin and orexin and all those, to return to basic levels, ghrelin. As such, skipping a mid-morning snack in favor of a filling early lunch offers potential benefits. So obviously, the less you eat, the less likely you are to overeat. I do prefer big meals as well. So they're saying here at least 2 serves of veggies. I really feel like they should emphasize the at least more. Because people will just be like, 2 serves of veg, but it's at least. The more is better. And that means you're displacing the other shitty food that you're probably going to put on your plate unless you're eating whole foods, plant-based already. A serve of lean protein. Fish, chicken, lean meat, or legumes. At least they put beans in there. Legumes, beans. And a serve of good quality carbs for glucose control. The things that control your glucose, it's less so about the sugar and more so about the fat. I don't know how many, but there's been certainly studies of high quality indicating that pure sugar and a slab of steak or meat have the same insulinogenic response. So they both have insulin responses, and they're about the same. So don't think that just because you're eating lean meat, you're not spiking your insulin in a way that you wouldn't want it. It's a lot better to just eat the fruits and veggies, which don't particularly produce a large insulinogenic response, which is generally associated with good health outcomes. So they're saying eat a bigger meal, and that'll keep you fuller as well throughout the afternoon. Obviously, cut out the salmon, because salmon is a fish, and humans really aren't suited to eating fish. Fish are essentially a biotoxic accumulator. They live in a pretty bad sort of environment if they're caught from the ocean, and if they're farmed, then they still accumulate a lot of the wastes associated with living in confined spaces with other animals. And the bigger the fish is, the more it accumulates. So salmon, which is a big fish, if you choose to kill it and eat it, you're going to be getting a lot of, I don't like calling them just toxins, but mercury and cholesterol and fats and animal-based protein. So that's not good for you. People think protein's good. It's good if it's in moderation and how much you need and comes from plants and not packaged in a bad overall package. But if it comes from animals, not so good. Snack, muesli bar, punneted berries. So fruit and nuts, yeah, it's not a bad snack, is it? And some water. Generally fruit, generally nuts, all good. And they've also said Greek yogurt in there because everyone thinks Greek yogurt is great. Again, high in casein and animal proteins, which they're not good for health. Dinner, grilled salmon fillet, roasted veggies with olive oil, small glass of red wine. And they've got a picture of chocolate, which is for later. In an ideal world, we would eat the last meal of the day before 8. Yeah, I agree. Eat earlier is better, and give it a couple of hours before you go to sleep. I agree. Again, they're emphasizing the lean protein, 150 to 200 grams cooked. But you're not going to eat it raw, are you? Because you have to cook it. Plain light dinners in a week also allows some extra indulgence on the weekend. So again, that sort of binging culture, treat yourself, go on, it's good. But really, if you eat a good diet, you don't need to treat yourself because you're feeling so good that you don't want to change. If your goal is fat loss, cutting out, they're saying minus the pasta, rice, and potatoes will support fat loss. I strongly disagree with that, and all you need to do is look at Andrew Taylor from Melbourne last year. All he ate was sweet potatoes and potatoes for the whole year, and he lost a ton of weight and was very healthy throughout. If your goal is weight control, some carbs. Look, if your goal is weight control, eat more fruits and vegetables. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Grains, you can try it out for yourself. But even when it comes to potatoes, the more you eat, the more fat you will lose because you're displacing other foods from your diet. So this is shocking advice. And then afterwards, they're saying have some herbal tea. Doesn't contain caffeine. You don't want to have caffeine before you go to sleep. Are they saying you should have caffeine? This is so stupid. And then dark chocolate as well, which is, again, it's like red wine. Chocolate, it's probably better than red wine. Red wine in moderation is going to give you moderate effects, and if you're very stressed, it might help. But if you're like a normal person or less stressed, then you don't need to be having those things. So news.com.au, thumbs down. Cut out the lean proteins, cut out the caffeine if you want, and go vegan and eat more fruits and veggies.